I think my hair is starting to get a little bit long. Be back in a bit.
Sounds good, man.
Need a wallet. Just realized I left without my glasses too. It's a tough day. That's better. I feel like I'm normally pretty good at remembering things, but must just be I'm not back in the routine yet. And now I feel so much lighter. Today's vlog is gonna be a little bit different. I wanna talk to you guys about like getting started in vlogging and what camera to use. It's really been like one of the best uses of my time, and it's a lot of time, but I know that you have it. So what is the best camera to use for vlogging? Well, I've got a few and I'll walk you through it. So what do you do when all your cameras that you use to vlog, you can't use to shoot it because you have to show them? I'm using this 5D. And I'm just gonna walk you through some of the things that I like or don't like about each camera and why I recommend or don't. Okay, so I wanna start off by saying that the best camera is the one that you are going to use the most. People get caught up in gear and this one, and yeah, but I can do this with this one, yeah, I can do this with this one. Like the most important thing is that you're shooting, is that you're capturing. Phones now have just this amazing camera, and the very first 2 vlogs I ever did were on this cell phone. Now, when I wanted to get more serious, I sort of used what I had. I didn't have this, I didn't have this, I didn't have this. I do videography professionally, so I have a lot of camera gear, but none that's like specifically for vlogging. So what I did have was this Sony, this A7S, which gets an amazing picture. And I had only Canon lenses and this adapter to connect them. Now this seems like a lot of craziness. It's way overkill for a lot of things. Now this provided an amazing picture, but the Canon lens won't autofocus shooting video. So I ended up getting a lot of video that looked like this. In the summertime, in the wintertime it gets cold. It's really easy to adjust. Not ideal. So the next step was to get a camera that did autofocus well. I had heard from everybody that the 70D, now this is an amazing vlogging camera for 2 reasons mostly. 1, the autofocus, and 2, the flip out screen. This allows you to be able to see yourself as you're shooting, which can be really, really helpful, but it can also be really distracting. So my next setup was, I went ahead and bought this Tokina 11 to 20 millimeter 2.8, which is wide and it's sharp and it looks nice, but the focusing is so loud on it that it got picked up by the microphone, which is why a lot of people use the Canon 10 to 22 or the Canon 10 to 18. It's completely silent. Lastly, I found the image quality out of the Canon to be so far inferior to the Sony that I just wasn't happy shooting with it. Enter the Sony a7R II. It's essentially the same as the Sony a7S, except it's designed more for pictures. Beautiful image quality, amazing autofocus when paired with the Sony lens. This is the camera that I've been using for the last 3 weeks and I'm in love with it. I'm gonna stick with Sony for sure all of the way, but it's not perfect for all situations. Enter the RX100. This is the Mark IV. So this one shoots in 4K. I don't shoot in 4K because I don't think anybody really needs to shoot in 4K. TVs can't put it out. It's a pain to process. It's more trouble than it's worth right now. I think in 2 years, 4K is gonna be the only way to live. What I love about this camera, it's small, fits in my pocket. It also has a flip out screen. The only negative is no audio import jack, but for some that can pass. If you're more of a beginner or you want something simple, I really recommend either using just your iPhone or getting the Sony. You can get the RX100 Mark IV. The Mark III is fantastic. The Canon GX7 is also the equivalent of this. I've heard good things about the GX7, but being so blown away by the Sonys, I think I'm gonna stick with it. New, these are about $900. I got it used for $700. So if you just take a look at Craigslist, it's perfect. Option 2, Canon 70D, new, $900. I got it used for $650. The Canon lens is about $300. New, this is about $420. So you're looking at about $1,000 for this setup. The A7S, new, is about $2,200. Used, I got it for $1,450. New, the Sony lens is about $1,400. Used, I got it for about $1,100. Then the A7R II, new, is $3,200. I got it used for $2,800. So buying camera gear used is absolutely the way to go. So for this one, you're in for about $4 grand, which is a lot. it is so much for vlogging. But since I shoot full time and I use these for when I'm shooting weddings, it totally makes sense to fit it in there for the extra features I get for vlogging. Let's talk about the two other things that will really make your vlogs easier and better. When I first started, I got this GorillaPod. It was $35. It allows you to set your camera up almost anywhere. You can mount it on tables. You can attach it to poles. I found that this one wasn't strong enough, $35, so I bought this one. It's 90 bucks. It's way more solid. It's way stronger. It can hold heavier cameras. It can be put in more places. Now audio. $60 for this Rode Video Micro. It comes with this windscreen, which is a little bit goofy, but so worth it. This alone will change the audio quality. Shoot more video, take more pictures. I used to think that I didn't have enough time. Anybody who says they don't have enough time, ask yourself, how many hours a week do I spend watching Netflix? And if that is an hour a night, then you can vlog. I simply swapped my time from watching an hour of TV before bed to editing for an hour, and that's it. Now I haven't followed TV shows in months, but my entire life is documented in this really cool way, and I'll be able to go back and look on it forever. So quick recap. Shoot more, use your phone, use something. We've got a little bit more, fits in your pocket, about $700 used, incredible quality. You don't have to get the 4, you can get the 3. Still fantastic. The only difference is 4K and you save a couple $100. If the flip out screen is really important to you, then the 70D is the way to go. Make sure you get the Canon lens instead of the Tokina because it won't make noise when it's trying to focus. If image quality is really important to you, then the Sonys I think are just unbeatable. Side-by-side comparisons, it's not even close. And lastly, always use a microphone when you can. And these just allow you to mount your camera anywhere and like really get creative. And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and send back that 11 to 20. Good lens, loud focusing. Side note, Amazon, best return policy of like any company.